Don't forget the maybe, baby. So here we go. Is the relationship over if the marriage proposal is declined? If she said no to the ring, listen.
So I'm saying bye-bye.
No vagina is whack or dry. You just don't turn her on. I'm jugular out the gate, bro. Let's get into this.
Dating someone you can have fun with is really unmatched. That's in my top 3. If I can't have fun with you, I don't even know how this thing gonna work.
Hey, bro, give us the other 2. Fun and what else?
Nah.
All right, no, don't worry. It's all good. What else?
That's why you can't tell your brother stuff in confidence, because they go,
let's normalize bragging about women like this.
Hey, now.
Go back. I'm being honest. I feel like she started feeling the beat a little bit.
Are you guys brutally honest with your friends, or do you hold back in order not to hurt their feelings?
The honesty is not the brutal part. The brutal part is how the person perceives your honesty.
If you're dating a narcissist at Christmas, you had better run.
What it do, bro? What it do?
Man, we got so many dope sound bites. I feel like we need to just get all of them together and just do a minute clip of just sound bites from the show,
bro.
Some good
I haven't done like any of the comical ones in a minute, bro. That would be something. That would be something
for real.
Let's just take a month off and just work on that project, and we can
because it'll take about that long for
right, yeah. Between everything else I got going on, it probably will take that long to put all that together.
Right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help the Podcast, giving you that good, that bad, that alimony relationship talk you can relate to.
Yeah.
Welcome. Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific. We live Facebook. We live on YouTube. And we see you guys out there. We see our numbers are climbing up. So we know you guys are out there in the audience. So please chime in, say what's up. Get ready to join in this conversation. Tag one of your best friends. Tag one of your enemies. Maybe they may learn something. Tag somebody who's on the fence. Some days they're your enemy, some days you're your friend. You know, we got all kind of people in our lives. But tag somebody so they can get a little bit of this. Maybe this will help tonight. Man, Mike, you got anything to say to people before we check in?
No.
Nothing.
Got nothing for these bums.
Well, let's check in then.
All right, I'll go. Check in. We had a couple weeks, or we missed last week.
Yeah,
that was due to my son had his 12th birthday, so I got a 12-year-old in the house now, almost a teenager. I know,
Oof.
right?
Oof.
Wild.
Yeah.
So we celebrated with him here at the house, and a couple of his partners had a sleepover and tore up the living room.
I'm about to say, what happened, bro? I told you I was trying to bring my my sleeping bag and join in the fun.
They told me they didn't want you to come.
Easy work. I recognize that energy. Like father, like son. I got you.
So we did that last week, and just working on these businesses that myself and Janae and another couple are venturing out on, and just excited really about what the future holds for me as an individual, me as a father, me as a potential husband, me as a friend, me as a son. You know, just all of the hats that we wear on a day-to-day.
As a model.
Me as a model, don't
forget that one.
Yeah.
Hey, I brag on my brother being a model, nigga. Whatever.
I'm not even mad at it. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. That's false modesty that you see coming out of me right now. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
I got you. It's all good. It's all good.
Right. So just all the hats that I wear, just really trying to dissect each one and see how I'm measuring up to, you know, what I said I was going to do, who I said I was going to be. You know what I mean? Am I falling short anywhere? Because I feel like, you know, we all have some of us have these goals to where, you know, I'm gonna start, I don't know, working out 5 times a week, or I'm gonna start checking in with the people that are close to me or that I love, or you know what I mean. Sometimes we fall short just because life happens, right? Lifes, and sometimes you don't meet those goals, or sometimes you don't live up to the things you told people that you were going to do, and just like I said the last time, I'm just in a space where I'm just leaving room for people to be human and not get so upset because it doesn't look like the way I feel it should look. Nope. You muted.
I'm fine a mute button. I said I'm gonna keep it coded, but you sent me a message the other day, and I sent you back a message that said intentions are seen with the heart. And I'm a firm believer, bro, that whatever you're trying to do, if people who know your heart consider your heart, even when you fall short of your commitments, it's not necessarily a violation of integrity because they see the effort you put into it. Because sometimes intentions are great, but capacity is king. Sometimes emergencies come up. Sometimes the emergency is that I'm just tired.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fraction this out well, and I don't have it in me. You know what I'm saying, to do it. So I applaud you for all the effort that you're putting forth, and even this self accountability that that you got going on, man. It's inspiring.
Yeah, man. It's and I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's something easy to do because it forces you to get out of your comfort zone. Like, damn, I did say I was gonna go do this. I don't feel like it. I don't want to, but I said out of my mouth I was gonna do it. So
Yeah.
even if I don't go and stay an hour, even if I go, show up, boop, and I'm out. I did.
I mean, we know that you've been in the gym, though. You keep taking your shirt off online, so we know that that's not one of the commitments that you're failing at, huh?
So you want to hear something funny?
I've seen your bare chest a little too much in the month of April and May. I just want to let you know that.
You know what's funny? You want to know what's funny? I haven't been in the gym in over a month. That's one of my
you flexing right now. The fact that you don't even have to work out, and this is what happens.
Wow.
I understand.
When we first started, I said
I'm in the gym 9 days a week, trying to understand my age and genetics. Why they arguing?
So since this is our show and we can kind of get on top of it if we want to, when I get back into the gym, I was just telling Jay that I'm going to start focusing more on natural movement as opposed to just getting in there and lifting weights, because I see as I'm getting older, even stuff like getting up off the couch is like, I felt that. Am I supposed to feel that in my knees? So
you got to.
I just feel like my focus has kind of shifted from I want to look good for the summer to I want to be able to still squat and lift things when I turn 45.
It's interesting, man. I told you, I think me and Errol told you the story once. We was at the gym, and one of the mentors up in there was like, bro, y'all in here living all this heavy weight, but for what? Yeah. He said, like, you doing this for the niggas in here, ain't you? To impress these niggas. Right. Because never girl you dated cared if you could bench 315. And so when we were in our 20s, we got that revelation of like, yo, first of all, let me stop doing all this crazy stuff with these niggas. And as long as I can handle what's good for my girl. And then as you get even older than that, you like, listen, I need to do what's right for my body. I don't want to ache in the morning. I want to be able to, dude, me and my mom had this hilarious conversation. I think during the pandemic, a few of her friends had fell in the shower and they had to go to ER or to urgent care. And, they're in a situation for like a week or two. I was like, damn, from falling in the shower? Like, since when can't your body handle a fall in the shower and just get back up? Like, that's medical alert now, like life alert, because you fell in the shower. Like, you got to start paying attention. Like, it's the things you can't see. This is what makes me understand what a true stewardship is. It's not just taking care of the things that are obvious. It's taking care of the things that you need to be taken care of. Because if you look in the mirror and you say, I'm good, but you don't do blood checks, you don't go to get your checkup with your doctor, you're not doing your physicals, you're not checking out your poop and seeing how consistent it is. You know what I'm saying? If you're not doing that cognitive test to see if your brain is functioning right, if you're not checking your sinuses, like, you're not really taking care of your body. You can't taking care of the appearance.
Yep.
And the Bible even talks about that. Jesus talks about people making sure the outside of the bowl is clean, but the inside is filthy. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, what are your conversations even healthy? Like, the words that are coming out of your mouth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What's your intake? Not just your food, but your movies and your music. Like, all that is stewardship of the complete body, man.
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. So
wow.
What you got?
Pookie. My whole body sound like Rice Krispies.
Well, hey guys.
Wow, Pook. All right. That's why niggas trying to pour
that.
milk on you.
That.
Go ahead, Doug.
That initial get up in the morning is like creak, 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 creak.
Bruh.
But it's all good, man. It's important to fight against. I mean, it's an old age is inevitable, but it's important to fight against it and not just let it overcome you. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we just get comfortable. You know what I mean? Which is a lot of leading cases to being overweight. We just uncomfortable. Whether it's I finally got the man or the woman I wanted, so I'm a chill now. Like they're not going nowhere. You see a lot of that. You know what I mean?
Check this out. Mom's on the show. Mom said get your vitamin D
Hey,
levels,
Mom.
right? Hi, Mom. Me and her had a conversation because her trainer was talking to her about being committed to getting these results. And she came back and me and her were talking. I started training my mom when she was 35 years old, right? And ain't none of been how old she is now, but I was in high school. It's been a minute. And so I told her, we don't go for the results. We go because it's who we are. It is a part of our makeup. We work out. That's just a part of it's on my ID. I go to the gym, right? And so I told her, so what you're saying right now is like, if your mental makeup and identity is that I work out and I take care of my body, I go to the gym, I lift weights, I lift heavy things and I run far. If you get the house you want, the girl you want, or whatever you want, you're going to still keep doing it because it's who you are. You're not doing it for the outcomes. If you're doing it for the outcomes, once you get the outcome, you're likely to stop.
Yep. And then the spirit of transparency, that's really, I feel like why I've kind of been, I mean, of course life is busy right now, especially the month of May, but I feel like once you set these goals in your mind of kind of the pounds you want to lose and the way you want your body to look, once you get there, it's like, okay, cool. Let me coast now. Let me turn off all the engines in the plane and kind of just soar through the air. But eventually what's going to happen is the nose of that plane finna start diving. Wow. You know what I mean? So, like you just said, it's just important to keep in mind, like, goals are great. Short-term goals are great. Long-term goals are great. But you know what I mean? Some things need to be ingrained in you as not a goal. It's a lifestyle.
Bro, I told my mom the other day, I said, I went to the gym at 10 o'clock at night because I just needed a hug. And I couldn't get one where I was at. So I went to the gym, not to hug nobody, but to work out. Like that's how close me and that form of self-care are. You know what I'm saying? I'll be at work, you know what I'm saying, during my lunch break and I'm working from home. I'll put a mint mask on my face just on the strength, just because I know I should. I don't wait to see a pimple. I don't wait to see if it's just what I do. You know what I'm saying? I could be watching put on one of my favorite TV shows and I put on a vitamin C under eye strip. It's like, go put some conditioner in my hair. Like, it's like put your feet in the sand or put it on some grass because that grounds you. Like, wisdom is the application of knowledge. So as you're learning what you need, learn to put it in your routine. And you won't ever, it's like a preventative measure. You could prevent things instead of the expensive cost of trying to repair things.
Agreed. That's good.
What's up, Dr. O?
For my, that's it for me though, as far as check-in.
Pete Diddley said, make sure you get your calcium.
Yes.
I don't even know where you get calcium at, but yeah, we're gonna figure it out. Milk. Milk. Oh man. What else though, bro?
That's it, man. I'm just out here. Just
out here. Out here trusting God.
Yeah, like learning how to not even learning, but practicing how to just let go and just completely depend on, especially being the type of man that I am. I'm like, I'll just go do it. Like that's always been my mentality. Like even in my relationship, Jay will tell you, I'll say, hey, man, this is nice. I think I want this. If I don't have it in a week or two, I'm just gonna go buy it. Like I'm not. It's no love lost, no feelings hurt, no nothing like that. But I want what I want when I want it. You know what I mean? So I'm just practicing on just God's timing and just allowing Him to steer the ship instead of me constantly trying to grab the wheel.
Yeah, bro. If you trust Him, trust Him.
Thanks.
Man, I'm good, bro. I've been these last 2 weeks. I know I've been checking in with you periodically, but these last 2 weeks have been sublimely stable, peaceful. You know what I'm saying? You know, this month was a little challenging for me for personal reasons, and so I had to take some introspective time. But after those first 2.5 weeks, I'm telling you, I settled into a really good place, and I'm riding in this clarity, right? And it's this lightness. You know what I'm saying? How the Bible says that, Jesus says my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I really do feel like I've cast my anxieties and my cares upon Jesus because he cares for me, and I'm living in the result of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of my really good friends just did a sermon about the beautiful exchange and all the things that Jesus died for and rose again with authority and power to give us access to. And then I go to church today and the pastor is preaching about don't forget the benefits of this relationship with God. And I'm like, man, what would it be like to live a life where you have all these privileges and advantages and you just choose a harder path? You choose it. Like it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be as hard as it is or as challenging as it is or as stressful as it is. Like it's if you look at who's in your corner and what's been done for you to lighten the load. You got, bro. I see you doing the light skin squint. What you got?
That's my thinking face.
I'm light skinned when I think. I think better when I think I'm light skinned. I got you.
Nah, I think that a lot of that is due to how we're raised, what we're taught, and it just makes me think of the phrase "marriage is hard." Like growing up, I heard that a lot, and then you know what I mean. Actually, you know what I mean. Being married before and now in a relationship I'm in now, it's like it's only hard if you make it hard.
Bro.
It's only difficult if you make it difficult. Now, that's not to say there's not going to be disagreements. That's not going to say that you guys won't, you know what I mean, be upset, angry, bothered, irritated with each other. But hard, you got to be hard. Marriage is hard. A lot of things in life are not hard. And that goes back to what I just said. It is what you make it.
Yeah, they don't have to be challenging, right? So we gave the example of before, like, and I'm gonna use this as a practical example. We talk about, having sexual relations with someone, and sometimes, they can't get aroused because it's not stimulated, right? Yeah. It's the same thing with being hard in a marriage or hard in a relationship. If you don't arouse your ego, then the partnership won't become hard. Because ego is the part that pulls you into this I, this me. It takes you out of the cooperation or the commitment you made to cooperate with your partner. Ego is thinking about myself and my self-interest, not the interest of the things that you and I are both stewarding together to send back to God. So if you just don't arouse that ego, but that's the self-work we talk about, doing that ego check stuff while you're single, you know what I'm saying? In all your relationships before you choose to partner with somebody, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you got to be perfect at it or master it, but at least be aware of the things that trigger you in that area. So when something does rise up, you're like, nah, let me go into my rituals or my practices that I do to pull me back into a more aligned place, right?
That's good, man. That's good.
Mr. Reggie Reg said the last couple of weeks, look, it's like we doing our check-in. Now Reg's gonna come in and check in because he's an honorary host of the show.
Wait a minute, is that I can't see the picture. Is that Reg in a powder periwinkle blue 7-piece suit?
I'm done.
Reg, hey, Reg, send that picture so we can put that up as your picture for when we get you on the show, bro.
Periwinkle.
Yeah, I see you, Reg. I see what you're doing. Yep.
Reg in the periwinkle suit said, the last couple of weeks I've been learning to leave people where they are. I have a habit of getting upset when people won't even listen to how to free themselves financially. Ooh.
I get that. And honestly, I feel like I've been one of those people. And I say this, I say it because of this. And not trying to give those people a pass, Reg, but speaking from my own I feel you. Listen, it's clean, whatever it is. But for me, it's always been from the financial aspect, since that's what you mentioned. For me, it's always been I've sat down with, with someone that's trying to, speaking about financial literacy. And then for me, if you don't got it, then why should I listen to you? And I'm not saying that, Reg, you don't, because I don't know your situation, but for the people I talk to, it's like, you telling me all of this, but why it's not working for you? Like, I know you. I see where you living at. I see what, you know what I mean, the moves you're making, and you pretty much seem like you're in the same boat I'm in. So, you know what I'm saying? So what can you possibly teach me? Like, everything, it sounds good, but why it's not working for you?
What if they just giving you information that somebody else gave them?
Or that. But then on the flip side, it goes to a person that has never been married before writes a book called Before the I Do, and it's a phenomenal book that actually teaches things. So I think that's where I get caught in the crossroads of, you know what I mean? Is it? I don't know. Because the book that I was talking about was a phenomenal book. Even though you've never been married, it was gems in there that I could actually use and take into my next marriage. However, the guy talking about, go ahead.
Let me tell you something. This is where you begin to understand more deeply what it means to be a wise person, not just a knowledgeable person. Because you can know and not do. But like the pimps tell us, if you knew better, you do better. If you do better, then that's what makes you see the results. You don't get results from knowing what to do. You get results from doing what you know what to do. Right? You know what I'm saying to you? So people could have a head full of knowledge, and you could learn from that and take it and capitalize on something they just don't have the discipline or the wherewithal to pull themselves to do.
That's good.
And that's sad for them, but quick for me.
Yeah, I like that. That's sound advice.
But I guess to wrap up my check-in, bro, I'm good. My heart's good. 50% of my relationships are amazing, and the other ones are 50. I'm in something right now, bro. I'm in this space now where I'm really letting God talk to me about not necessarily qualifications, but what kind of people I need close to me. And not anything to do with them per se, but me having a better recognition of the value I possess and the purpose I hold and what needs to be carried out, and knowing that I can't do it by myself, and recognizing again how powerful this purpose is and how important this value is, and that I should choose wisely who I'm asking to partner with me on things.
Man, that's so good, because a lot of times I'll even say me, a lot of times I will get stuck in these relationships and not necessarily afraid to get out, but afraid to get out because I knew I had either outgrown a relationship or I knew I shouldn't be in a relationship, but I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. I don't want them to think that it was something wrong with them. But, you know, with it's all about freedom. You know what I mean? And to me, if you're in a relationship like that and you feeling that way, that's bondage. That's not freedom. And sometimes it is the other person. Sometimes I don't want to be in this because of you. And then sometimes it's like you just said, I know my worth and I feel like I'm worth more than this relationship. Either way, you got to be free enough to say, hey, you know, I love you, or maybe you don't, but I love you. This is what it is. I got to do this for myself.
That's good, man. I saw this video this week on Instagram, and it said that when you truly love someone, you know you love them because you want to help. You want to see them free. Yeah. They said that love is about liberation. When you love someone, what you want to do is do everything you can to see them liberated from anything that's keeping them bound. You want to see them free to do exactly what their life is calling them to do, or God is calling them to do. So that's why when you love someone, like you said, it shouldn't feel like bondage. It should feel like that person really just wants you to be your authentic, true self and free you from the things that are holding you back. If you're walking in imposter syndrome, or if you're holding on to insecurities, or if you're, settling in the blame game or in excuses, it may be a little rough in that patch of the relationship. But honestly, that person is just trying to free you because they love you. They want to see you free. They want to see you soar. Man, that touched me when I heard that, bro. In a good way.
All right.
Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready.
Nah. I think I really realized, this is from a past relationship, but I feel like I really realized that I loved a person when I saw her in another relationship, and she was happy, and I felt like I was happy for her. You know what I mean? Like they had kids, and I still follow her. I talked to Janae about her. Janae knows we spoken, but like it's just to know that, you know what I mean. And it's not, when I say love a person, I'm not talking about like the romantic type of love. I'm talking about like I genuinely care for this person's well-being, and so, you know, seeing her with the family and seeing her businesses thrive, and that makes me happy. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? For me, that was a big gauge on, you know, my maturity, I guess.
All right.
Because I could have easily.
I was wondering if it was maturity or like the sincerity of your love. I wasn't sure if it was.
Okay, let's use the word sincerity. I like that more.
Yeah.
Yeah, sincerity is a better word.
Because it sounded like you didn't have a challenge with it. It was like that was always your intention for her.
Yeah.
To be free, happy, healthy, wealthy, and whatever else, you know, fulfill purpose and whatnot, well, no matter who she was with.
Yeah. For sure.
Sincere. Man, that kind of love is beautiful, bro.
It is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we done checked in for 30 minutes. We're about to get into the show like we normally do. I got some good videos today, but I do have a few posts, man, that we should put up. So why don't we start like that, bro? Let's start with, you know what? Let's do your favorite guy real quick, all right? Young Pueblo. 4 goals for June. Say no to situations that burn way too much of your energy. Let your intuition guide you, not your fears or cravings. Don't listen to the feeling that you need to perform for others. Surround yourself with people who love the authentic you. Bro, which one's resonating with you the most on that list?
I could only pick one, or sheesh.
Yeah, I mean, you can pick as many as you want, but one of them just
throw it back up there.
Yeesh.
So for me, that burn way too much. I think it's the say no to situations that burn way too much of your energy, and don't listen to the feeling that you need to perform for others. I think those two, and that perform for others is even
yeah.
even with your family, your friends, your girlfriend, your co-workers. Like if it kind of leans into the first one for me. Like if I don't got it, I'm not going to sit here and fake like I got it. You know what I mean? If it's something where I don't want to be bothered, you know,
yeah.
If you love me, you'll respect that. I shouldn't have to put on this fake face and this fake facade like, everything's good. I'm happy. I'm in a great mood right now, because that's not real. It's not true. It's not honest. It's not authentic. You know what I mean? Not saying that I have to walk around being an ogre, but sometimes we just need let me just get a minute. Let me just be by myself for like 20 minutes and let me recharge, and I'll be good. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times we get in these relationships, whether it's friendships or whether it's romantic relationships, and we feel like we have to pretend like we're just so happy all the time, and that's not it. That's not it. And I really value my relationship because she gives me space to be, all right, you in a kind of a mood, cool. I'll check on you. You good? And that's that. It's not a pressing. What did I do? You know, I don't know. It's just a sense of knowing your partner. It's a sense of knowing who you're in a relationship with in order to get the results that you want when you're going through certain things, if that makes sense. Just like you.
Yeah.
I'll text you, you good? And you'll be like, yeah, I'm cool. And I'll be like, is that the truth? Or are you good? Or are you just saying you good? And then you'll say, no, I'm good. And then, okay, I know I need to live. Whether that's it, or whether it was just like, I don't want to talk about it, I know where to stop. You know what I mean? I'm not going to pride, because that can turn into something else.
Bro, we got some videos tonight along these topics. I think we're going videos next, because this is so. Let me just say this, man. One that jumped out to me was the same one. Don't listen to the feeling that you need to perform for others. I think that one is so important to me, I guess, right now, because if the more I've given to the pressure, the more I recognize that I'm the one to let that pressure in. And the more I let the pressure in, it makes me feel like I need to perform for others. It's actually showing me something about how I treat myself. it's just showing me something about how I feel about my authenticity. It shows me something about how I feel about who I am at my core.
Yeah.
Like if the pressure is even present for me to have to perform for others, for me, it's been making me recognize that what is it about you that you don't feel like is just enough as is? And what I've learned is that I've slipped into that place of feeling like I need to perform to stay here. I was my authentic self and I got into that relationship, or I got into that friendship, or I got into that role, right? But then the time was up. I had served my purpose. The season had passed, but I wanted to stay. And the only way I could stay is if I started pretending to be somebody I wasn't, because authenticity got me in and I served my purpose, but I didn't want to let it go once the season had passed. And that's when the pressure came into, like, if you want to keep this, you're going to have to pretend. But the whole time, what I was being told was that it's time for you to move on. It's time for you, the authentic you, to move on to something else. You came, you saw, you made the memories, you made the impact. And just allow yourself to go to your next assignment. But we don't want to leave and let go. And I think that's where the pressure gets in to perform, because, well, if I change and alter myself to be this way, maybe I can stay a little bit longer.
Do you feel like that should be used as a gauge to know when you should or should not be in a relationship, whether it's romantic, whether it's friendship? Meaning, if I feel all of this pressure to perform, is that a signal that maybe this is not where I need to be?
No, I think that's a signal that you need to have a conversation about how you're feeling, because sometimes that can be your interpretation of the environment.
Conversation with yourself or conversation with
the actual person, because this is the thing about it, man. I am guilty of ghosting.
Oh yeah. What?
And yeah, in the past it's been because I'm trying to avoid conflict. And in the present I've been ghosting less. But I am taking my time away to kind of identify what's the best way to approach situations, because I found something I wasn't sure how I felt about within myself.
Yeah.
And that is how fine I am alone. Yeah. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, because it's a very easy place.
So I don't want to correct you, because the word alone may be exactly what you mean, but are you talking about single or are you talking about alone? Because those are two different things.
Oh, no, not single. No, not single, like not in a relationship, like by my physical self, like my introvosity, like being an introvert. Like I could work at home all day and only interact with people.
Your what?
Introvosity. Go back to college. So it's a word that it's the only thing I had. Go back to college.
You got it.
No, but sometimes I feel like, ooh, like I need to go out and be social, because I can get into my TV shows, I can get into my art, I can get into my music, I can get into my gym and not engage socially with people and be so okay. And I'm like, I don't know if that's healthy. I need to continue to engage with people. My mom said, though, I was like that as a kid. I love to just play with my toys by myself and with my own imagination.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to, like, okay, let me, I don't want to get too comfortable, because I feel like my purpose requires me to be more social than I honestly want to be in my personality. So I've been kind of trying to work through that. It could be because I don't really have a lot. It could be that I've heard one of my friends told me it could be that you're actually an extrovert. You just haven't found people that you actually want to be an extrovert with.
I would beg to differ, because
okay,
I've seen your extrovertedness and it's annoying. So I've said, so when we went out, you
Mike,
are introverted. Like
Mike.
Nope, I don't want to hear it.
You sure?
Yes. I'm pretty positive. I do not want to hear what you have to say.
I'm gonna tell you anyway.
I know you are.
So a lot of that is the performer, bro. A lot of that is the performer. I promise you, a lot of that is the performer. Yeah, I can do it, but my preference in those moments when you see me doing the life of the party thing, that's me telling myself, if I'm going to stay, this environment has to shift to something that I like. So that's why I'm doing it, because I could easily leave.
That makes sense.
because I can create that environment that I like and everybody else is going to enjoy, and then I'm good for a little bit. But if I'm going to stay, I can't stay in an environment that is just not conducive to the things that I'm enjoying. So it's a struggle working on some things. I'm actually not working on things yet. I'm just discovering some things that I might have to work on in the future.
Because it may be nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I like that you just said what you said. I'm not working on things. I'm discovering things, because that's key. Because sometimes people cut off certain pieces of their personality because everybody else around them doesn't function that way. So then it must mean
I am. It's my shell is dope. I have all kind of fun in here. Poop knows me.
So, but a lot of times people cut off certain aspects of their personality because it doesn't look like the norm, or like the majority. So you cut it off, not knowing that's what makes you you. That's what makes you so unique.
And when you think of
maturely, then you lose it.
Let me tell you the people that inspire me as I look throughout history. It's like those scientists like Nikola Tesla. And when I think about the life that he lived and how much time he spent in his laboratory, coming up with innovative ways to push humanity forward. You know what I'm saying? Thinking about very deep things that most people don't want to have conversations about. Like when I think about my purpose, I know that it's to go out there and impact people, but I know that it's also included with me spending a lot of time with myself in my head, in my imagination, because if you go on my website, right, Donovan D. Donnell, for where I do my coaching, the whole premise of my coaching, my life coaching, is to help people escape the loop. For me to do that, I need to spend a adequate amount of time within my own thoughts, researching online, listening to things, reading things, and then taking that back to my drawing board and dissecting that and finding pitfalls, not just to service my clients, but because that actually just interests me. And if you look at some of the innovators and the deep thinkers from the past that have done that, contributed to humanity in such a specific way, they were kind of into themselves. They were kind of socially awkward. The only reason I'm able, I think, to survive socially the way that I do and thrive actually the way that I do socially, because my mother's an extrovert, I believe, but she taught me how to be and do, and all the speech meets she put me in, all the acting classes that I was in. So I'm able to perform and create an environment when necessary. But I know that as far as my purpose and my mind and my personality is concerned, I need that away time to think deeply about things. And then when I come and I try to have conversations with people about it, it's very easy for me to tell who I've been called to and who I haven't, because some people just don't have an ear for that kind of stuff when I'm trying to talk about it.
I feel that, man.
All right, so let's dive into something, bro. You ready?
Yes.
We're talking about. I want to dive in this because we're talking about friendships tonight. Just kind of how to navigate them. So I got this video. I think it's going to be a good conversation for us.
B was going through it 2020 bad.
Oh, that year.
She sends out a text to the team and she's like, nobody contact me before 9. And she's going through it, which was a boundary for her. Entitlement would have been like, well, she's not talking to me.
Right.
I'm her best friend.
Right.
I'm her best friend.
Yeah.
I never text her before 9, personally or professionally. So to respect her boundary, even though I was
the closest to me,
the closest to her, an entitlement would have said, that ain't for you.
That's for y'all.
Right. That's for y'all.
That's so good.
And because I love you, I respect your boundaries.
That's a good example.
Regardless
that's so good.
That was yes, it was for me, but for you also.
Yeah.
Before 9, I might go off. Now we have an argument.
Absolutely.
Now
for sure.
Now I'm not my best version of a friend for you.
Absolutely.
Now I've got an attitude with you.
God gives us boundaries because he knows something that we don't know.
He has a viewpoint
like
that we
you-
don't
Yes.
have. And so he can see,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He can see what's
He has
around
the
corner.
drone.
Right.
So he can see it all.
Yeah.
Like, people don't know how to respect people's boundaries. And boundaries are not for you. Boundaries are for me.
B.
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
So crazy that without getting into the conversation, that reminds me of the talk we were having after the last show with me, you, and Doug.
Yes, sir.
That's dang.
This, I will say this, in honoring my new commitments. This has come up multiple times in our circle.
Yeah.
This conversation of people asking for certain things and how do you honor that as a friend?
Yeah.
Or do you overstep that boundary because you know what they really need? I know what they said, but I know what they need. And like you get in trouble for honoring the commitment or the boundary, but then you could also get in trouble for not honoring the commitment or the boundary. So I thought that video was important for anybody who has a close circle of friends. Jump into the chat and tell us how you navigate that. Do you tap into that entitlement place, or do you think that it's not entitlement? It's just actually just I care. So I heard what you said, but you know, sometimes people use that God card, but God told me to reach out to you anyway. God told me to break your boundary, or you know, like I know you better and I'm just worried, so I'm just gonna reach out and I'm gonna touch base anyway. Where we at with this, Mike?
It's a slippery ass slope, man.
Is it?
It really is. It really is, because I know there's been times where, you know, I've told people I'm good, and I'll use a circle. I've told the circle I'm good and this and that, but I really wasn't. What I wanted was for somebody to come to the house and give me a hug, but that's not how it came across. It came across as I'm good. I don't need nothing. So it I don't know. I think it really boils down to, like, for me, it's just like I said that on that instance that I text you. For me, is you good? Yeah, I'm good. You sure you good? Yeah, I'm good. All right. At that point, that's when I'm just like, okay, he said he was good. He's good. I'm still gonna check in like maybe a couple of days later, but you know what I mean.
Still good.
That's just me, though. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm a habitual boundary line stepper.
Is that entitlement? Do you feel like you're the exception?
No, I don't. I definitely don't. Especially, and not that I don't want this to sound weird but especially not in this circle. I don't feel like it's entitlement. I feel like in this circle it's because I care, and I hear you're saying that I'm good, and I hear you saying maybe I don't want to be bothered right now, but the way my caring and my love goes, it's like I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna still check on you. If anything, I may not offer no advice, I may not come over and bring you lunch, but I'm gonna still check.
So, what would you say to someone like me who respects it to the literal T?
You have to respect that too. You have to, like you can't
be mad at for somebody for doing what you asked them to do.
That's it. You can't be mad.
So,
but in that, if we have a conversation, me and you had a conversation 15 years ago, and I said, look, no matter what I ever say, no matter what I ever do, if I'm cussing everybody out, you, sir, I need you to be there. Then 15 years later, after I tell everybody to leave me the fuck alone, you better be there.
Interesting. So the passion behind what you said should be taken as an override of anything that's to be said in the future.
Yes.
Now that's slippery. Everything else was straightforward. That part is slippery. Part.
But how? We've already talked about it. You already know what's to be expected of you, regardless of hell or high water. Me and you have already said you're gonna be there. If I say F everybody else, and you're in the group, and I say F all y'all, you better be there.
So let me tell you how I read that. I read that as, oh, you must have changed your mind.
Well, we didn't have that talk. We had a verbal agreement that you would be there. We never had a verbal agreement.
So what responsibility does the person hold who's saying, I will, you and me forever, always, nothing. But if we walk in the room and I just take a gun out, I start shooting everybody else up. If I hit you, I'm sorry. Why are you aiming at me in the first place if we already both have an understanding?
It ain't aiming at you. People get hit by stray bullets every day.
That's a lack of accountability. That's a lack of accountability. If you knew I was in the room, send me a text message ahead of time, say you should get out the building. You should get out the building as soon as possible. Let's talk about I'm coming through.
Let's talk about feelings and emotions and being in the moment. How many times have you been in a moment or been in a feeling or been just present with negative or positive where you didn't have time to let that person know? It's just like regurgitated.
Perfect. Then that you guys both give each other some grace. Both of you guys. You give the person grace who respected your letter to the T, and then the other person gives grace to you for respecting to the T. Be like, you know what? I know what I said, and I know that sounds like a contradiction. I can see how you could have been confused. I can see that. So you just give each other grace. The day you hold such a hard line for someone else that you don't hold to yourself, you're not holding yourself to accountability. Now you in violation, and you're gonna feel that in the future. So let's see what the people are saying out here.
Yeah.
Ali said, I always honor spoken boundaries unless spirit says otherwise in the moment. Man, how do you verify if that's spirit or not? Man, I watched this incredible video the other day about knowing God's voice versus your voice, because that could just be your emotions talking. Mom said, I respect it. Pook said, nope, I leave them be and pray and hope all is well. Now, there are times, here goes these times, I will send a text message checking in and advise them to reach out when they're ready. You know, it's those exceptions that we're looking at. I always honor the boundaries of others no matter what, because I treat people the way I want to be treated. I just sent that, man. You saw the text message I sent this week, bro. And when I need to be alone, I expect folks to do just that. If I'm not doing well and need a hug, some people, some TLC, etc., it's easy for me to articulate those feelings and needs. Now, this is the thing. Some people don't know how to communicate their emotions like that. Some because they just won't take the time to learn how, and others because there's something deeper that's blocking them from being able to really get in tune with themselves enough to express that.
I feel like there's a third one. I feel like sometimes it comes from people that have expressed themselves and have gotten so much pushback when they do, or so much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Negative response to them expressing themselves that they decide to just flip that switch off.
I think that's what I've done. I'm saying this last like year and a half. Yeah. And I think I've expressed it to you. Like if I continue to try to walk the humble path and have a growth mindset and be understanding and open, and I'm not met with that, then I recognize for my own personal well-being, I have to reorganize some boundaries and some parameters.
And other people's well-being as well, because it's hard just being the bigger person sometimes. Like it comes a time to it's like, shoot, okay, I'm trying to be this type of person, and I'm giving this to the universe, and I keep giving this to the universe, and and then when you feel like it's not being met, you can really have a fucking moment, and that can turn into blowing up at somebody at the grocery store. That could turn into getting into an argument with one of your close friends. That can turn into a fight with your spouse. Like it's
a big blow. Like nobody's listening to me. They're not hearing me.
Yes.
They don't hear what I'm trying to say. I'm trying. You know, all that. I don't have time for that.
Right.
And that's what fuels my ghost.
Yes.
That is fuel for my ghost.
100%. 100%. No, I got you.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
listen,
man.
I told y'all I do real well by myself. I'm trying.
And it's one of those things, man. That's why as much as, you know, this may be saying too much, but whatever. As much as I've tried to leave this circle and you know, have individual relationships outside of the circle. Me and you have talked recently about this. It's just it almost keeps pulling you back in without anybody having to say anything or anybody having to do anything. For me, that's how I know my time is not up with this circle. You know what I mean? Because for me, trying to, all right, I'm gonna put my attention elsewhere. Not saying anything against the circle. Nobody's done anything necessarily wrong in the circle, but like you just said, sometimes you feel like, okay, my time has run its course here. But it's just like, you know, you just can't, not you, but you know, you just keep, I don't know. It's just like a pull, like a magnet, just keeps pulling.
Yeah. I think the fact that you even understand that things have a lifespan is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody ever starts a marriage, a friendship, and consider the fact that this may only be for a season. We say reason, season, lifetime, but we do that in retrospect.
Yes.
We can actually begin things knowing that this is for a limited time. I don't know how long that time is. So let me appreciate every day that I have with this person, so that when the moment comes that I know will come, where I'm going to have to move on, I'll have no regrets, but I have a bunch of memories to always look back on and say, I'm grateful that I knew that person and was as close to them as I was for the time that I was.
That's good. You know what that reminds me of? Have you seen that movie with Will Smith? Is it Seven
Wild
Pounds?
Wild West?
No.
It's been a minute.
So basically, the chick he falls in love with, he knows she has this terminal illness. He knows going into it that he's gonna give her this, I don't know if it's a kidney or something, but basically he would have to die in order. But he still chooses to fall in love with her and create all these memories and talk about the future. No, and to me, it's like, how many relationships, how many happy people, how many people would not be so bitter or not hate men or not hate women if they just, when you got into the relationship, just be honest. Like, I know this is not a forever type of relationship. Like, I know it. Because it's relationships that I've gotten in, friendships too. And I know for a fact I'm not going to end up with you. Do I want to spend time with you? Yes. Do I want to even be in a relationship with you? Yes. But I know that you're not going to be the one that I end up with. I know that we're not going to be friends past these couple of years, because I know what I want my life to be. I know where I want the trajectory of my life to go, and I know yours is going in the opposite direction. So then, do I not benefit from what could become a great thing or a great season in my life?
Because at some point I'm gonna have to let it go.
So by your account,
you can be in.
Go ahead.
I would say you can be in denial all you want. Yeah. Things do run their course.
They do.
And for me, I don't know what your goal is, but for me, the goal is to be able to look back on the relationships and be like, I'm so grateful. I have so many wonderful memories. That was a great run. And the only way I can do that is if I'm intentional and grateful in every day, and not slip into that entitlement and not start to try to make it do something it wasn't meant to do. Remember, I started telling you guys last year, I'm done trying to make things something that they ain't. Let it be what it is, man. If I'm contributing the way I need to contribute, and this is what's coming up, enjoy that for what it is.
And I think that comes with a certain amount of, correct me if I'm wrong for using this word, but maturity. And I say that because, you know, when I was younger, my mind wasn't to enjoy memories. It was more so I felt like a hoarder of people that I called friends, because the more friends I have, then the more people that love me and the more validated I am just in life. You know what I'm saying? But now it's more so, like you said, even if I'm on a business conference and I'm there for a week and I meet somebody and he's really a dope dude and we hang out, we have beers, and that's the last time I ever see this dude.
Bruh.
Cool. I made a memory. I met somebody great. Life goes on. I don't got to get his number and promise I'm going to call him or promise I'm going to call her and try to make this fake.
Just let it be. Listen, you was a one-night stand. I understand that we had a good time. Now, check this out. So I was talking to one of my friends that I hadn't seen in a while, and they was like, yo, I really missed you. And I was like, I missed you as well. And I said, for me, that's evidence that we did it right.
Yeah, come on.
That's evidence we did it right. That's evidence that we invested and were intentional, because when we left it, we missed it. When you overstay, not your welcome, but when you overstay your purpose, when you overstay your purpose, that means you're now occupying space that's no longer for you. Now you're robbing yourself. Now you're destroying those memories. Now, when you look back on it, it's going to be tainted with this selfishness. It's going to be corrupted by this entitlement, when you really could have just bowed out when it was time, like an athlete. When it's time, leave on a high note. Everything, let it go. Instead of trying to carry on and move forward, like you pass your prime.
That's when resentment starts to settle in.
There it is, bro.
Starts to settle in, because you've been here. You so angry and upset at the other person when it's not even the other person. You've been there too long. You supposed to be gone. You're supposed to, and you wondering why the relationship and we arguing all the time, and I don't know what it is. And let's go to counseling. It ain't counseling you need. You need to get up out of here.
I told somebody, mate, always outstay your welcome. That's fine, but don't outstay your purpose,
bruh. Jeez.
Listen, you got a small business to talk about? If not, I got another fire video, bro.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody in the chat say anything besides? No, yeah, there we go. 100%. What up, Q? She said, bingo. Ali said, those are some of the best memories. Man, my mom always made it important to me, like make memories, make memories. All right, check this video out, bro. We're going to stay in the same lane.
I hadn't been in love with my partner for almost 2 years. And because I was a coward, I hurt her for 2 years because I couldn't even admit to myself that I had fallen out of love with her. I realized that I didn't like any of my friends. All of my friends were people who had the same coping patterns that I had because we were all resisting becoming who we wanted to be. And then I also realized that I was mad at my body because I was an athlete growing up and then it got injured. And from that point on, I was kind of like, fuck you, you failed me. All of that arose in just a couple of weeks of me creating a space in my life to begin to tell myself the truth. If you don't have a space in your life to cultivate connecting to what you actually feel and what you actually think, and you only know yourself through talking to other people, and this is especially true for extroverts, you could be like me and you could go 4 years in a relationship where you didn't have a single moment of actually contacting what was true for you. Or you could be friends with people for 4 or 5 years and realize I don't actually like any of them. And it's not because they weren't good people. It was because I didn't know how to be honest with any of them. So none of them saw me. And so it was just, I would just go get drunk with these people, or I'd go play games with these people, or these women, we would go touch each other in our genitals, but not know each other at all, just as a way for both of us to run away from the rest of our lives.
That's right. That's right. I don't think we need to do another podcast ever again if you guys just listen to what the fuck he just said.
I hadn't been in love.
Big bruh.
Yeah, he
bruh. Connect with your honesty, connect with your truth, connect with what honestly is going on inside of you and share that. You know what I'm saying? Share it with yourself and then share it with the people around you. Like for 2 years, he wasn't even in love with her, and it was a coward, too much of a coward to say it. Didn't like his friends. Was mad at his body.
Man, that
right, Pookie. In the show on that one.
Man, seriously, that honesty piece.
What you thinking, bro?
No, I'm just saying that honesty piece is it's crazy on so many levels. Like you said, from friendships. I just was severely honest with a guy that I called my brother the other day based on the decision he was making, that if it had been somebody else, I may have just, oh, okay, that's cool. Well, good luck with that. But I literally told him, I was like, look, man, you know what I mean? I got your back through thick and thin, but I'm not rolling with this decision you're about to make. And to me, that was a gauge. Like, I really love this dude enough to risk him being upset, enough to risk him being like, oh, well, fuck you then. Enough to risk all of that. And it's the same thing with the people that I love, whether it's Jay, whether it's y'all, whether it's Denim. Like, I'm gonna tell you the truth, and it ain't always gonna be what you want to hear. It ain't always gonna be what you want to hear. But I feel like I have a it's my duty. If I'm telling you I love you and I'm telling you I'm your friend, I have to tell you the truth. I have to be able to put the whole relationship on the line behind whatever the truth is. So whether it's, look, I know if I say this, you may want to leave. I know if I say this, you're going to be like, well, you know, you wasn't really my friend to begin. Okay. But if I'm telling you I love you, I have to. Like, I don't know. I feel like everybody doesn't have that, doesn't put that I don't want to call it a burden, but I put that burden upon themselves as a friend. But I feel like the older I get, the more I wear that mantle. Like, this is something that I have to do.
Thank you. Because this is a struggle for me. I think back in my 20s, I was way more honest and direct. And then, you know, and really giving my life to God and to Christ and trying to be gentle with people and trying not to be offensive and trying to be soft with people and be caring, somewhere I really let go of that, of initiating that kind of honesty. And I think some of it had to do with me being around people who, when I was honest, they called me mean. And I didn't want to be seen as mean or aggressive, but I didn't know I was being manipulated. And so I never really fully recovered. But this past year, I've been stepping more into it. And I think that the reason I'm more confident with stepping into being honest these days is because I know that it's not coming from a malicious place. I wasn't sure before. Now that I know it's not coming from a malicious place, I'm to a place now to where I'm like, okay, I'm going to say this. And it's still a struggle for me. Yeah. I'm nowhere near like, you know, where the conviction you have with it, but I'm understanding the benefit of it. And I see that I was a coward in a lot of different relationships. I wouldn't say it, didn't want to start conflict, didn't want the person to feel like I was mean. And so if I didn't want to be honest, then what was I going to be? I was going to pretend, and the fruit was still going to tell the truth on me anyway. And then they looked at me like, why didn't you just say something? Like,
that's so crazy. That's so crazy. I'm gonna get personal. Let me look at her first, make sure it's okay. So I'm gonna get personal. So when I had stepped out of my relationship, the biggest reason that I didn't say anything to her was that I was scared she was gonna leave. Like petrified. Like, I don't want this woman to go nowhere, so I'm gonna just sneak. I'm gonna hide, even though I'm feeling these things. I know they're wrong, even to the point to where I want to say something. Like, I want to get in trouble so I can stop. You know what I'm saying? It was deep. It was crazy. But so, and then when everything finally came out, and I'm talking about everything finally came out, it was like, why you just didn't tell me? Why you just didn't say something?
Yeah,
that blew my entire mind. What do you mean? Like, what do you
that was
mean?
An option?
Right. Like, I couldn't, like, it broke me down so tough. And you know what I mean? To me, that's for me how I know the essence of when you love somebody, when it's like I know what you're doing is fucked up, but if you come to me and tell me, at least you're giving me an option to where I can move. Okay, let's talk it out. Let's work it out. Or okay, you gotta go on your own separate way. But if I say I love you, I have to be honest enough with you to give you to give you your options to whether to what you're going to do, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because if I'm not honest, I'm not giving you no option.
Yep, I'm robbing you of the opportunity.
How do I love you?
Jesus, you done got this girl online. She said it's always about not taking my option away.
Yeah.
Woo! That's good.
Yep.
That's good, because what you're doing is you're taking away their option, and now you're making a decision on their behalf.
Yep.
Because you're like, I know what they would have done.
And those moments of honesty that we had, where it was just like complete balled up in the baby, crying in the room, telling her to get away from me because I wasn't worthy, all kind of like crazy stuff has now opened up our communication so much. It's like when we have a check-in, I don't feel ashamed or bad to say, hey, may have been a close call. I didn't do it, but you know what I mean? I had a little hurt. I had a little, you know what I mean? I had a little feeling, you know what I mean? But that keeps me honest. It keeps her feeling like, okay, I can trust him. It keeps me feeling like, okay, I can actually talk to her, so I don't got to hide these things. So I don't have to go out and sneak and do all of these other things, because we have that open line of communication.
Check this out, bro. Pook said, if you're true friends, then you expect and require your friends to be honest. But people, although they say it, can't take the honesty. I cannot like what you tell me, but I will respect and allow my brain to process it, because I know it's coming from a place of love. And you may not know it's coming from a place of love in that moment. You may feel like it's malicious, One of the reasons I didn't want to give honesty, like the real honesty, because I felt like I sound like I was complaining or judging them, when really I was just expressing, you know, kind of how it impacted me. And I didn't trust people to be smart enough to distinguish between my judgment and me just giving them just responding to, just giving them an assessment of how I've interpreted their emotions. I didn't think people were intelligent enough to know the difference. I didn't give them the chance.
That's so it, because I was just about to say, we also have to realize that Donnie's honesty may not be Mike's honesty. You know what I'm saying? So it's important not to enforce what we think is honest onto somebody else, because sometimes it's not about, you know what I'm saying, just sometimes our honesty is not how our partner or how our homeboy or homegirl really feels. They really legit may think completely different as far as the honesty thing is going. We have to leave room to say, okay, I feel this way, and I feel like this is the Bible, the God's honest truth. You feel this way, you feel like this is God's honest truth. Cool. At least we know where each other stand. We ain't gotta agree. That don't have nothing to do with our relationship because we don't agree on something.
Yeah. Q said, just had a similar talk last night. I can actually be friends with them, me, but can you tell her where she's falling short in what you require in the friendship? Them, not yet. She's not ready to hear it. Me, how do you see friendship? How do you know someone's not ready? I think I've used that. So that's really good. I'll say, I'll say that that's a cop out. You know what I'm saying? I think that, but again, I love how she said at the end, how do you see friendships? Because Pookie said in friendship, that's a requirement. Like when I say I'm your friend, I am committing to showing you things, to not just cheering you on, but showing you things that are going to help you be your best self, even if it's something you don't want to see.
What happens when you have that friend though? When you show them, it's that you're met with denial, or you're met with things like that. Do you continue to try to show them, or do you just step away?
No, you just see. Now you're asking me. Now you're going to correct me if I'm wrong, because you know how my personality works. If you deny that, then I feel like you just fired me
as your friend.
Yeah, you're not letting me do my job.
Okay.
So that means you don't want me to do it.
I
it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. My initial thought was like, you fired me. You don't want me to do my job. If I've been met with that before, like, oh, this is just your personality. Nobody can meet those that and da. And I just kind of fall back. I say my piece, I fall back, and I just give it some time to see what kind of fruit it's going to produce. Because sometimes people like me, they'll go back in their private time, they'll have a relationship with God or a relationship with a different friend, and their perspective can be like massaged a little bit and like, So just give it some time. You know what I'm saying? Just give it some time. And that's what I like to do. But that's also where I have the temptation to ghost, or what it looks like I'm ghosting somebody. And what I'm really doing is trying to find the best way to really process this and then respond to it. But what I've recognized, go ahead, Mike.
No, you got it.
I'm about to say what I recognize that in my friendships from the past, I think that people saw me and wanted me to be their friend, but didn't want me to be their friend the way that I do friendship. They just wanted me to be their friend, the way they wanted me to be their friend, not the way that I like. Be the friend I want you to be. Don't be the friend that Donnie believes Donnie should be to me. And it's like, so now I can't be my authentic self in this friendship. I need to do how you want me to do friendship. I need to do it that way. And then I have to recognize that it's okay for me to opt out. It's okay for me to say, no, I don't do friendships that way, and step away. People, and you can be friends with somebody for 30, 40 years and their requirements change. And when their requirements that they have a friendship infringe upon some of your core values or how you do friendships, it's okay for you to say, it's above me now. I got to step away. I got to step back.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Buddy. All right. We ready to move on to the next one, man? Because we doing good.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
I'm gonna switch back. I'm gonna step away from the videos real quick and do this real quick. It's fine to fight for someone who loves you. It's a waste of time to fight for someone to love you. There's a huge difference. One more time. It's fine to fight for someone who loves you. It's a waste of time to fight for someone to love you. There's a huge difference. Where you at?
Yeah, I don't. That's funny that I was much older when I realized the difference between those two things. I think when I was younger, I'd always be fighting for people to love me. Oh, I gotta do this. Please love me. I gotta do this. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. So you love me now? You love me now? Okay, I'm gonna try to do this. You love me? And that ain't it, man. I don't want to have to fight for nobody to love me. Now, if I'm in a relationship, whether friendship or romantic relationship, I'll do what it takes to fight for our love that we've already cultivated for one another. But I'm not going to sit here and jump through hurdles and hoops to get you to love me. Like, if you don't love me, you don't love me. It is what it is. That's cool. If you were to tell me today, like, hey, I don't love you, I'd be heartbroken, but I get over it, right? I'm not going to fight for anybody to love me. I fight for the relationships that I love, though.
So my question is, here's my question. In both scenarios, it's fine to fight for someone who loves you. It's a waste of time to fight for someone to love you. What am I fighting?
Well, for instance.
Yes, give me an instance, because I don't. That's the part that always baffles me. Because my experience shows me that it's usually that I end up fighting the actual person, because the loving me is a choice.
No. So I'll give you a prime example, and again, I'm going to use my own relationship. When that happened with me and Jay's relationship, she had two choices. She chose to stay, or she could choose to leave. She chose to stay. That's a fight for her. To rebuild trust is a fight.
So what was she actually fighting? Her urge to leave?
No, not necessarily the urge to leave, but the urge to maybe not go through my phone, the urge to believe me when I say I'm here. Those things are, am I right?
Jay, was that a fight? I'm about to ask her.
The urge, she said the urge to trust or not trust.
Fighting the urge to not trust.
Yeah, because once somebody has broken that and then came back and then broken that, you know what I mean? Once you've seen habitual patterns, it's difficult. It's hard to just jump back in with like a free for all. Like, okay, everything will be good now. No, like you're human, so your natural mind is gonna want to put, no, we got her here. We don't want to do that. You have to fight through that.
So there's something that I'm fighting within myself. As Q said, you have to fight within yourself. So what role did you play in her fight?
It would never have been a fight if my actions wouldn't have caused the reaction.
So I'm talking about in the fight to stay. What role did you play in that? Or was that all her?
So, no. I feel like we both play a role in that. Like, it's certain things that I do or don't do now to so she's not triggered by certain things. That communication to me is the biggest thing, because I wasn't a communicator like I am now. This situation caused me to maybe even over communicate and overshare certain things, but it's helped to cultivate and rebuild those building blocks of trust.
Got you. Okay, cool. So now I can dive back into this. I try for what's actually being fought here. So it's fine to fight for someone who loves you. So I'm liking that. Fight for someone who loves you.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm still with this whole fighting thing.
Yeah.
Not fight for someone I love. Fight for someone who loves. Fight for someone. Wait, say it again. Fight for someone who loves you.
But I feel like that's both sides of the spectrum, because if it's you fighting for somebody that loves you, then that would be, for instance, me. If it's me for somebody fighting for somebody that loves me, then that would be you. So it goes both ways.
So someone who loves you is someone that you love.
Right. I'm assuming. It doesn't say that, but that's what I'm assuming.
Okay. And instead of fighting for someone to love you, which means that there's no love there, but you're trying to convince them.
Yes. Convince is the word I was looking for.
That's tough. I've definitely been there. That goes back to the performer. So let me ask you this then. Do you think that it's possible for someone to love you and not love you anymore? I have a theory about this. That's why I'm gonna ask you. Ooh, that's also a good question too. If they love you, why do I need to fight? I think so. Yo, Lita. I think that goes back to. I think that what I'm understanding, because I was in the same boat as her. What I'm understanding is that I have to fight within myself those urges that will make loving me more challenging. Those urges that will cause them to have a difficult time here in this relationship with me. Is that what I'm saying? I'm fighting the urges inside of me because I'm still trying to wrap my head around this.
For the scenario I use, that will be it. But I feel like people think that love is this cure all for everything. Love don't keep no relationship together. Like, it's more to it than just love. It's more to marriage than just love. It's more to boyfriend, girlfriend. It's more to friendships than just love.
Talk about it.
I'm just saying, it's been people that I said I love, and we no longer speak. I could even say I still love them. We no longer speak. It's more to it. It's more that goes into it.
I love you, but I can't partner with you. I love you means I want to see you free from whatever ails you.
Whatever that may look like.
And if that is somewhere else with someone else, and if you choose not to change your behavior and choose to keep yourself captive, I still love you, but I can't partner with you, can't hang out, and I can't chill with you. But my love for you is based on my perspective of you and what I'm willing to contribute to see you well in life. That's what I tell people all the time. You tell me you love me because of what I do for you. And I question if that's truly love. I told this one young lady, I was like, I love you because of what I see myself doing for you and wanting for you. I love you. I know I love you. And it's been verified behind the sacrifices that I desire to make to see you well. Not because you do this for me and because you're this way for me. And when you show up, it's not what you do for me. It's almost like I have a soul's reaction to want to do things for you. And so I am usually, it's my soul and my heart informing me that I love a person. That's where the verification comes from, because there's this desire that doesn't show up in a lot of places that shows up here. And this proclivity to do this for this person. Let me know, like, yo, yeah.
That's good, man.
So go back to it, bro. So if you ever love someone, do you think you could stop loving someone?
I'm just going back into the relationships. I'm going back all the way to elementary school. And I would say no. You may not hold that same space that you held when we were maybe in front of each other or seeing each other all the time, or have more of an interaction. But I feel like I have elementary school friends that I haven't talked to probably since, I don't know, years, umpteen years. And I know that I still love them. You know what I mean?
How do you know? What's the verification?
I think for me, the verification is, I know that if they called, if they needed anything, if you know, any of that, I would do it in a heartbeat. I know that even the mere thought of them brings back all of those feelings and emotions and times that we shared, bad and good. You know what I mean? You know, yeah.
So we got a lot of comments happening. So I have some thoughts about this, bro, because what we're seeing here is Shauna said that love is an action word. If your love doesn't do anything, is it really love? Q said something that was great. She said, I love you because of what I'm willing to give of myself. Reg said, yes, absolutely. And so did Kissmaya, about, like, you know, can you love someone and then not love them anymore? Pook said, love is action plus however you define it. I definitely have stopped loving someone, may care for you, but not love you. For me, it's always levels of how I love in action. And so when I'm looking at these, what I'm wondering is that if I say that I can love someone and then at some point not love them anymore, it is fair to go back to even, you know, high school and junior high and question if I actually loved you in the first place, or if I even knew what love was, or if I used that word prematurely, or if I used that word out of context. And I think that for a lot of people, that's what it is. We have this strong feeling, and we don't know any other way to describe it besides love. But I can be infatuated. I can be inspired by you. I could admire you. I am motivated by you. all those words might be more appropriate than I love you.
100%. And you know how I can kind of gauge for myself that is because I definitely know when I've had these same types of feelings for certain people, and I can definitely say that wasn't really. I can definitely look back and say, no, that wasn't love. That wasn't that. I felt
would you ever go back and tell somebody, I told you I loved you before, but I didn't. I've expanded my vocabulary since. I just wanted to update you that it's not love that I have for you. I just want us to be on the same page. It's actually not love. I've learned a new word. Should we update people? Is what I'm saying. Like,
nah.
Hey, remember last year at your birthday party? I'm like, yo, I love y'all. Put that in your card. I need that card back. I need to edit edit the
just
card.
A quick edit. Just scratch that out and put like.
Admired by Donovan.
Right. No, but I do think the word is thrown around way more than it should be, and I feel like it comes from when we were younger. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the first girl crush we had. Oh, we loved her. Oh God, like you couldn't tell us that was not love.
Yeah.
What? Like I could, like, I still feel the pain of that heartbreak from doggone 5th grade when this girl that I thought I was going to marry was like, nah, B, I want to go kick it with him. Like, I still feel that pain. You couldn't tell me back then that was not love. What? I'm talking like, what?
If it isn't love, why does it hurt so bad? We need to do another episode with those songs again.
I was thinking about that the other day. We really do.
Listen, man, I think that this is such an important topic because this would also come back to the honesty part.
Yeah.
Because it's not just you being honest with people about their behavior. It's you being honest with them about updates about you and why you're different. Like sometimes we make promises haphazardly. We make promises because we're both in this emotional place. But I would never leave you nor forsake you. I love you. And then we have to come back and edit that and say, there are a few circumstances that will cause me to leave you and forsake you. And I need you to know that so you don't get out here and wild out and think that you can do whatever the hell you want. And I'm going to stay loyal. My loyalty has a limit, nigga.
That's exactly why I love when you always say, like, if you don't mean them vows when you get married, don't say them.
Come on, man.
Make your own vows. You could do that. And make the promise to God about the vows that you said, not repeating after the minister and all this other stuff, because he's saying some stuff that most people are really not going to be okay with. They just saying it out of tradition, but you're still making that promise to God. So
it's a vow, bro.
Be careful.
Yeah, man. I'm working on it. I'm learning just to be quiet. Ashley says, I can say I loved someone truly, but after I grow out of who I previously was, I no longer love them because I'm no longer that person. Listen, the old me loved you.
That's really good. Damn. That's really good.
Look, 98 me was dumbfounded. I was head over heels in 98, but it's 2023, and so I need to update you. Everybody getting updates every year. Check in with me December 31st to see where you stand, because things that I'm different.
Your computer is about to reset in 5 hours with this new update. So
yeah, man.
Everything's going to shut down.
Listen,
when I come back, I'm not going to be the same person.
I'm at the check in, Mike. When's your next birthday? We need to check in. Are we still brothers? Because I know we brothers. Just ain't nothing wrong with verifying it. Check in. Just like car insurance, just like your car registration. Like,
right. Are you
still the owner of this car? Are you still holding me down? Do you still wish to have my back? Because you just talked about, you know what I'm saying, a friend that's about to get into some stuff. That's now, good. if your brother is in some stuff, because it's your brother, y'all in some stuff. But if this person starts wilding out and doing stuff, do you revoke your brotherhood?
Nah, I don't think it's just for me. It's not as simple as just revoking because you out there acting a fool.
Oh, okay. So it don't even matter the fact that now what they doing could jeopardize Denim or jeopardize Jay, because now the fact that your responsibilities are expanding, shouldn't your brother take that into accountability for what they get involved in?
Yes, he should. 100%. So there may be some degrees of separation. Like, hey, you can't come around here no more. Like, you can't just come hang out at the house. You got to run that key back that you had. It may be all of that. But as far as to just say, hey, we no longer brothers, for me, no. We're going to have to talk. And if after after we have a conversation, if you still choosing to go down this road, then that's something we can talk about then. But just off the top.
So this goes back to us having an expansive vocabulary about how we describe or how we label people that we care about. So what is the qualifications to be Mike's brother? And what is the tier underneath that? Is it friend? And what's the tier underneath that? Is it acquaintance? Is it homeboy? Like, is it my bro? Look at this guy. It's good to know. I think sometimes we say, I love you and you my brother way too much. We have to identify what is a better way to describe the thing, because some people take that so deep to heart, and you said it and they holding you accountable. And like that, a brother wouldn't do that. I'm like, right, a brother wouldn't. So now I'm questioning if I even properly placed myself in your life.
I've been there. And accepting titles that you didn't agree to.
Yeah.
Don't allow somebody. I'm just saying, don't allow somebody to call you their brother or you my sister or you all of it. If you ain't agreed to that.
Yo, Leah said, I think my next boyfriend will be an AI relationship. I'm sure he will say all the right things. Man, it's like we're getting pushed in that direction.
Man, you ain't never lied.
We need to be as honest as Siri is. You ever ask Siri? You don't have Siri, you have Alexa or something. You ever asked her a question? It's brutally honest, and
if she don't know, I don't know the answer to that.
She'll tell you shouldn't ask me that. You shouldn't ask me that.
All right, cool.
I love it, man. We got a lot to learn from computers. All right, let's dive back into this, bro. You ready for another video?
Yeah, let's do it.
Good Lord. Let's talk about this accountability real quick.
It's really hard to face the truth about your own behavior. Mm-hmm. For so many years, I blamed my bad behavior on the fact that I'd been abused. And I used that as an excuse. Everything from fits of self-pity to whatever, I would just say, well, if only I wouldn't have been abused. And, as long as you're making excuses for something, you can't get free from it. Now, I want to say that again.
Yeah.
As long as we're making excuses for something, we can't get free from it because we're giving ourselves permission to keep it. It's really hard to.
She is. I want to say this, that if I'm your brother and I'm an accountability partner, my accountability partnership cannot exist absent self-accountability.
Yes.
My accountability partnership is joined to your self-accountability. If you don't hold yourself accountable, my accountability partnership does not exist, because it doesn't have anything to partner with.
Yes.
You're not holding yourself accountable. So my accountability to you that I'm holding you to means absolutely nothing. You have to address you have to be willing to address your issues, or else when I address them, I'm your enemy, not your accountability partner.
That's wild. Yeah, man. I think this is the big part of my just rehabilitation, and therapy is just holding on to this one specific thing. And I know, like, the emotions and the feelings and everything behind it, and the sadness and anger behind it is strictly because I'm choosing to hold on to it. And as crazy as it may seem, a lot of us, we hold on to these things because if we let them go, then we'll be forced, number one, to forgive ourselves, and we'll be forced to forgive whoever the other party involved is. And once you carry something with you for so long, let's use prison. There's some cats that have been in jail for so long that when they get out of jail, they don't know what to do in the real world, and they want to go back to jail. I'm only comfortable in jail.
Yeah.
And that's how it is with some of these things, like Joyce Myers was talking about, some of these things that we hold on to, this baggage, and they may be terrible, terrible things, and they make us feel bad. And, you know, every time Mother's Day comes around, you know, and every time somebody mentions Denham's mom and all these things, you know what I mean? We hold on to these things, but it's one of those things where most people would be like, well, just forgive yourself and forgive her and just move on. It ain't always that easy, bro. It ain't always that easy. And I know sometimes from the outside looking in, it seems easy enough, especially when the damage that is done is like, you know, why don't you just move on? Like, I wouldn't want to stay in that headspace. But like I just said, sometimes you've been in that headspace so long, sometimes you don't know how to get out of it. And then sometimes it's like, if I get out of it, like, what I'm gonna do?
And that's why I appreciate therapy, because like you said, why would it not be, why would it be easier said than done? That's because we have yet to identify what it's rooted in.
Yep.
It's easier for me to disconnect from a bad behavior when I see it as a behavior. But when I see something as my identity and it's who I am, I've built an entire identity and life around it. People are my friends because of it. I have my job and my social status because of it. Imagine me branding my coaching business around, what if I based it around my time as a male exotic dancer? Then everything that every speaking engagement I went to, every time I coached somebody, I would have to lean into that identity because that's what people came for. That's what they signed up to hear from, because I identify myself as that. And then somebody says, you got to let that part of you go because it's holding you back. My entire livelihood is built around that. My clientele, I'm paying my bills and my car note with this identity that I've built around this. And sometimes it's the anger. And sometimes it's, you know, the story about how I was abandoned. And sometimes it's a story about how, you know, I've been betrayed and that's why I don't have any friends. And when you build a life around that, that's why it's harder, sometimes easier said than done, because it's almost like if you built a life around that, it's going to leave you empty.
Yes.
Then how do you refurnish, and how do I rebuild, and how do I re-identify?
Yeah.
That's why therapy is so great, because it can walk you through that. I hate this guy. Let me show you. I'm using this word very specifically today. I hate Reginald. He's coming to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Insecurity.
Golly. Yeah, man. It's therapy is a cold thing, bro. It just makes you look through a different lens, you know, because sometimes when you're actually in it, you can only see out of the lens you've been looking through. Yeah. But when the therapist hands you, hey, look through these for a second, and then you put those on, it's like, oh, this is my life.
Oh, really?
This is what my life is, and this is what my life looks like. And then you're like, okay, take those off, and now look through these. And then you go back even further. Also, when I was 6 and my mom had to go to work all the time, that's why I'm feeling abandoned now. Oh, it's wild.
That's why I'm picking the people that I'm picking a date.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying to you? That's why I picked the job that I'm picking. Like it impacts everything you identify with impacts every decision you make.
Yeah, man. It really does. It really does.
What we got on here, man? McJellin said, I'm not opening those doors. God has plans for me. I give everything to God and hold on to nothing but God's truth. Growing is uncomfortable. So I got comfortable being uncomfortable because I choose growth.
That's good.
Shanna says, where'd she go? People protect their pain because they don't know what's on the outside of that.
That's good. Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
Yikes.
Right? Sheesh.
Boy, I tell you, we got some people in this audience. Boy, I tell you what.
Everybody coming for Reggie's spot. That's what I feel like.
Everybody
putting their little resumes.
If you ain't got a periwinkle suit, you can hang it up. This brother's clean, I tell you. Yo, check this out, though. This is what he said earlier. He said, the men I call my brother, I trust with my life. I've canceled my real brother because I can't trust his slow ass. This is something I want to. It's something I want to say. People talk so much about friends that become brothers, right? And how they're so much better because
so now what I'm thinking is she's giving Reggie all the stuff to say. He just typing it, but it's really her wisdom that we really need to have her. Okay, Reg, you've been found out. You've been had.
Wow, dang, your ghostwriter snuffed you, son.
Sheesh.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I was saying how we have these friends that become brothers, and we're so excited at the fact that we get to choose our family, right? This is my chosen family, not the family I had to have. I chose these people, you know, because sometimes your blood family can feel entitled and you guys don't really have anything in common, but they're blood. So you have to accommodate. But then you go out and you choose these people and you call them brother and sister and auntie and mom, you know what I'm saying? But they're the people that you chose, but we make the same mistake. We stay in those relationships. We start to feel entitled and we start to require them to operate from a place of loyalty, even if I'm not operating from a place of authenticity. We require them to show up just like we would a blood person, even if I'm not doing what I promised I would do here. And so you defeat the whole purpose of a chosen family. You defeat you deny yourself the benefit of it because you're treating them like they're obligated to be there and they have to. And that's one of the things that just destroys like the opportunities inside the blood relationship, because people think like I'm your mama or I'm your brother, so you're supposed to because I have the title. Absent the behavior. So if you're going to choose people to be in relationship with, choose to also hold yourself accountable and stay grateful to the fact that they're not obligated to be there.
Damn, that's really
that's
good.
all.
Nah, that's really
I'm a you got anything to say, Mike? 'Cause I'm about to switch the gears real hard.
Nah, go ahead, switch them up.
All right, this for you, bro. I got this video specifically for you. Y'all ready for this? Here we go.
Everyone should have their wedding efficient say this. Let's not rush. We're going to take just a minute in silence to let you have this moment with God and one another. I'm going to invite you in a moment to look up. I'm going to invite you in just a moment to look around, to look over your shoulders, to look at your people, to take in their smiles and their love. I want you to pause, breathe, and remember what today smells like, what it feels like, what it looks like. Everyone should have.
Whoo. You're not gonna do this to me this evening. Golly.
Bruh. It's so I put a post up and I think we spoke about it on this podcast before. There's so many perfect moments that God has blessed us with. If we would just pause to recognize their perfection, just stop, be present to it. There's so many perfect moments and perfect people and perfect spaces that would blow our mind if we just took a moment to be mindful, to be present, to be in it, to look around, like she said, to see what it feels like, what it smells like. Remember this moment. I love that she just wasn't trying to rush past it because of formalities.
That's really good. I also it brings to mind, that's why it's so important to not just have any old body at your wedding.
Yeah.
Just because, oh, we work together, or oh, that's my cousin, or we've known each other since elementary. None of that matters, man. The only people I'm having at my wedding are people that I know that had some sort of investment into making this relationship work. Whether it was a prayer, whether it was,
Good.
That's it.
That's a good word. Investment.
It's not gonna be just any old body. Oh yeah, we work together. Okay, well then, what did they do for the relationship? Were they talking?
Are you inviting Reggie to the relationship, to the marriage, because the wedding? Because he said she's trying to give them one more chance to run. To
answer your question, the answer is yes, and the answer is only yes because I want him to wear this suit. I need him to be there Fresh to death with
in
the
that
suit. For sure.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, that was dope. I've never even heard anybody do that before.
So check it out though. Yolita says, seriously, all that's too much. It's too much. It's too much.
It's a to each his own thing. That may be too much for her, but for me, somebody that has been married before, and then somebody that is going to be married again, I feel like with this person that I'm going to be married, that's perfect. Like I want to be able, like everything she said, I want to do that with this person. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not, and that's the thing. People these days, people don't take marriage, to me, as seriously as they should, which is why there's so many people getting divorced, because it's like another boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Y'all got an argument and you want to get a divorce. Like, nah, that shit is out. Like, marriage is such a sacred bond, and I never really, you know what I mean? I never really understood how sacred until, you know, you have those reflection moments. It's just like, I took all of this for granted. I took the promise to God and the vow to God to cherish this woman for granted. So the next time I do it, yeah, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna look at her. I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna gauge everything, and then before I say yes, I'm gonna mean my fucking yes.
Yeah.
Not yes because all these people are here. Not yes because that's what you're supposed to say. Not yes because we paid all this money for this wedding. My yes is gonna be an internal yes. So yeah, nah, that's not too much at all. That's perfect for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
And it could be, it don't have to be, it could be just me and her. It could be me and her and the officiant. It could be me, her, and 1,000 other people. That yes is still gonna mean the same thing.
I like it. I like it. Yolita, I'm trying to decipher. I think your message got cut short. So if you can just re-enter that so I can read it out. Shauna said, weddings are supposed to be personal. I don't want everyone there because everyone isn't truly there to truly support. Some folks want to come to just talk about it. McJellin said, that's me all day. I'm not waiting for marriage. I enjoy life today while I wait to breathe when we can live right now. I like that too. I do that as often as I can. I'll sometimes sit in the house by myself and just really like zone out. I mean, zoom out, not zone out, zoom out and be like, yo, I'm in a peaceful house. There hasn't been a drive-by in years. I have electricity. I'm watching one of my favorite shows. I'm healthy. I got food in the fridge. I'll just stop and sit in those moments. Like, I don't have no anxiety. I'm not worried about anybody just popping up that I don't want to come by. Those moments are great.
They are. And there hasn't been a drive-by in years because you stopped banging.
Because I'm not doing them. Because I stopped doing them. That's
there it is. That's what I was trying to.
Yeah.
There it is. Yep,
there it is.
Free.
We got 10 more minutes left in the show. I'm gonna lead up to our final, you know, how we do our mental health thing at the end. I have one more post I want to put up for us to discuss. So check this out. See what you think about this, bro. Depression isn't always dark rooms and crying endlessly. Sometimes it's getting up, going to work, and smiling and laughing all day, and then coming home to sit quietly, doing little to nothing until it's time to go to bed. The many faces of depression. I've been there. Yeah. This smiling and laughing all day, and then coming home, sitting quietly, doing little to nothing until it's time to go to bed. Sometimes I'll add to that. I'll come home, I'll go to the gym, and I am heavy laden, and somebody comes and want talking about the gym. Oh, what's up? Yeah. As soon as they walk away, I turn on that performer just for that quick interaction, but I am going through it in a bad way.
Man. Man, I can look back, like I can scroll through my like Facebook page and look back on pictures, and I'll see a picture of me smiling or look like I'm on top of the world, and in my mind, like I was probably at my lowest moment in that very picture. You know what I mean?
You seen post they have up on Instagram where they say post a video of yourself when you were at your lowest moment and nobody knew it. And it's a voiceover, and you can insert your own video. But they say post a video of when you were at your lowest moment and nobody knew it. And I've seen a lot of people like do that, and it's like them at parties or them somewhere doing something celebratory, and no one knew that they were at their lowest moment. And I think that I put that video up just to say, you never know what generational curse a person's trying to break. You never know what demons and spirits they may be struggling with. Yeah. You never know what may have just happened to them, what anxiety they may be walking with. Like, and I apply this a lot when I'm in traffic. When someone cuts me off or they're speeding or they run a red light, I don't know what the emergency is. And so instead of getting angry, I try my best to pray. That even in their emergency, that they operate responsibly, and that God gives them a peace that can bring them back into sober-mindedness, that there's other people around that can be affected by how they're behaving right now. I do my best to, because you just never know, you know what I'm saying to you, like how many people walking around on their last straw. And I say this because once somebody hit me with this, my boy's wife said this, and it stuck with me. She said, nobody's recovered from the pandemic. She said it affected the world, and everybody was affected to a certain degree, and everyone needs to talk to someone about how the pandemic affected them. Whether you got COVID or not, it was a pandemic. It affected the whole world, and everybody needs that, because it could have affected somebody close to you. The whole world needs therapy because of that plandemic or pandemic, whatever you want to call it. It affected us, and so I try to operate with a different level of empathy and compassion when I see people.
That's I feel like that's what I'm working towards. I feel like I've gotten better, but there's always those, relapses.
I could show you better than I could tell you.
Man, yeah. But God is
hop out the whip. You've gotten better. So from what I hear, Mike, you gotten better. I don't think I've ever seen you angry, bro. I mean, I've only known you 3 weeks, but beside the fact,
when we were just picking up the truck, I had to go left on this on one of the salesmen at the first place we went to, just talking crazy, and it was so bad. I felt embarrassed. So back in the day when my anger was just rampant and out of control, I wouldn't have felt nothing, but it was so bad, I felt embarrassed. I had to apologize to my boy. I had to apologize to Janae. I went and apologized and shook the man's hand and apologized to him. Like, it was bad, to the point people coming out the office looking at me. I'm like, because you work so hard to become this person, and it's like sometimes you just feel like you said at the beginning of the show, I'm trying, and I feel like you don't see me trying not to rip your head off right now. So now you're gonna get it. You're gonna get everything.
I feel you, man.
So,
I had a very alarming thought the other day, and I was like, I probably need to talk to somebody about that. I said, just trying to keep myself in a certain environment of peace, being able to approach conflict from a very healthy place, not with people who are maliciously toxic. And the thought that came to my mind was like, you have no idea the darkness that I'm holding back.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I didn't feel comfortable with the fact that I still recognize and identify with it in me. I want that out, and I want it away. So that was alarming to me. So I am going to talk to somebody about that. But the fact that it came up and it felt true to me, I was like, is that where I want to live for the rest of my life? Having to hold this thing back?
Jesus, that's so crazy. That's so crazy, because in that moment of rage and anger, it felt so familiar, and a part of it felt so comfortable. And I think that's why I felt so convicted to apologize, because it was literally like a mental stance, like, no, I'm not going to allow myself to get away with that. I'm going to apologize, and I'm going to, ask for forgiveness, whatever I got to do, because that's not who I am anymore. But when it came up, I swear, like, it came up so naturally. It was scary.
Niggas like, put me in the game, coach. Like, nigga, what you still doing on the bench? Nigga, I ain't never took my equipment off.
I thought you left the gym.
Nigga, I was on the bench. He was on the bench with a helmet on and the mouthpiece already in. Like,
right.
I'm ready to go.
Boy. But Yeah, it's just thing, you know, like you said, everybody has something, and we all need to talk to somebody, or whatever your version of therapy is. You need to go do that. It may not be talking to somebody in the room. It may not be your regular therapy, but
you and Wreck-It Reggie instead of Wreck-It Ralph. You and Wreck-It Reggie must be related. That's why he belongs on the show.
exactly. Exactly.
What to do with the darkness. That's gonna be the name of the new podcast. Shoot.
You laughing, but that's good.
Man, yeah, it is. I want to laugh, so I don't do other things. It's all good. It's time to go, ladies and gentlemen. No, this is real. Let me read a few things that people had to say that was encouraging. Reggie said, I was able to hide my depression for years because people fear being genuine with me. Dang. Sheesh. That's big.
Yeah.
McJellin said, depression for me happens when I stop including God in all of what I'm doing.
Yep.
Holding that space. Yeah. Yep. Ali said there was a time a few years back when I was going through that and my clients wouldn't allow me to teach until I talked it out. Yikes. Wow. I know those tears were heavy buckets. After I cried, they all hugged me and we had class. That's good.
That is good.
P did said, whew. And then hopefully you catch yourself and remember whose you are and not fall too deep. Honor those feelings. Yeah. But get the help you need. Call a friend, journal, call the helpline.
Agreed. That's facts.
All good things. But Aisha said, I believe that we're not normal anymore. COVID corrupted the world. And we need to talk to somebody about how we feel about these things, man. Mm-hmm. Reggie said, I used to live at the intersection of I wish a nigga would.
Right there. Right at the light. Right there.
Man. I got the little homie Joker with me at all times, fool. What you want to do? On that note, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of every episode, what we like to do is give you guys a resource. If you are struggling with any kind of personal crisis or depression, any kind of mental illness, or somebody who is, reach out to this number. We've had multiple people that watch this podcast and personal friends of ours, coworkers as well. Reach out to this number 988. What happens is that they're going to connect you, they're going to assess you, connect you with a proper resource, and they actually do set up a follow-up date with you to check in with you. So if you need somebody to talk to, work through some stuff anonymously, the number you can call is 988. Keep this number in memory for, friends that may be struggling, and you can call this number and be like, yo, I have a friend who's struggling with depression and I want to find the best way to approach and maybe intervene. So 988 is the number that you can call. Anything to add, Mike?
Yeah, just don't stay silent about it. You know what I mean? And sometimes, I get not wanting to talk to people that or people that are familiar with you. That's why this number is so amazing, because nobody knows your story. Nobody can judge you because they don't know you to judge you. So you can feel free to open up and feel free to talk to these people. And they're trained to be able to, handle those types of conversations. And it, like we always say, it don't have to be, oh, I was thinking about slitting my own throat. It can be, but it don't have to be that. Sometimes depression don't even come like that. Sometimes, like the meme says, sometimes depression is just sitting around not doing nothing. I don't feel like doing nothing, or just being super lazy and you don't know why. Why am I feeling like? Just call the number, man. It could for sure help.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close out in prayer. We thank you guys so much for all you've contributed tonight. We know that something that was said helped. So if you could go in the chat and let us know what helped you tonight. And the reason we asked you to do that is not for our own personal vain glory or whatnot, but because people come back and watch these episodes in their own time, and they may see something that you're highlighting and didn't really pay attention to it and rewatch it, and that thing might help them as well. So just help us help other people by going into the chat and putting in the chat what helped you tonight. You want to pray, Mike? Or you want me to do it?
I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this out, so we're not here for another 30.
Smart move.
Father, I thank you for bringing us here together, Lord. I thank you that the ears that heard, that are meant to hear. I thank you that you use my brother Donnie and I to speak those things which you wanted us to get out to the world, Lord. I thank you that when we go into this week, that you will order our steps, that we're in the right place at the right time, doing what we're supposed to be doing, Lord. We thank you that you send your angels to cover us with your protection, Lord, for those family members, friends, and loved ones who need you right now. We thank you that you will lay your hands on their hearts and lay your hands on their bodies if they have any sickness that they need to recover from, Lord. We just thank you and praise you for being the awesome God that you are. We thank you that everybody will have a safe and blessed week this week. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Hey man, I'm done with you and Reggie. I just want both y'all niggas to know that the food get cold.
My nigga.
Yeah, niggas ain't right, man. All right, y'all. Hopefully we'll see you guys next Sunday. In the meantime, check in with us on Instagram and Facebook. Maybe this will help the podcast. We'll see y'all soon.
2 Chainz.